Welcome back. The internet and genealogy websites have been key for millions seeking to learn more about their family histories. But when our next guest began to investigate the past of his 97-year-old grandmother, he made a startling discovery.
The elegant Grace Dodson wasn't always an illustration of LA's high society at the turn of the 20th century. It turns out she grew up as an orphan after both of her parents were jailed for crimes. Grace's grandson uncovers her secret past in his new book, Amazing Gracie. Michael Haibach joins us right now.
Hello.
Nice to see you. It was a journey you did not expect. You expected the journey to go on it, but then it just took a turn that you couldn't see coming.
Exactly. My grandmother had always told us she was from a wealthy family in Boston, and that's all we ever knew. It wasn't until I was looking up on the internet trying to discover our family history that I came across a newspaper article, and I took it to her. It was about a murder, and she went ballistic when she looked at me, and I showed it to her, and she asked me to leave her house.
That was my question to Bob earlier when talking about this. I said, was grandmother upset?
She was very upset, and it took her quite a while, but she finally relaxed and said, okay, I'm going to tell you the true story. Oh. And she sat down and told me the true story.
So had any indication, I mean, you've grown up with your grandmother, that there was all of these secrets that she really held for that long?
My grandmother was always very reserved, and you could always tell that she was holding back something. She never really talked about herself, never showed affection. So I really didn't understand, if she was from a wealthy family in Boston, how she could be this, you know, persona. And it finally came out that she told me every story of the murder and the trial, and I continued doing my research and found out more. But the stories that she told me...
There's the article that you found
yes.
through your research. So your father was convicted of a murder along with his brother, and then your mother, trying to make ends meet... Her mother, rather, trying to make ends meet, goes into this life of prostitution. She also is convicted, and then all of the kids end up in this orphanage where they were horribly abused. Tell us about that. She really had a difficult time in the 10 years that she was there.
Well, the moment that they first got there, my grandmother said that they were separated immediately. One was sent to a different home, and they were told that they couldn't see their siblings any longer. So she ended up telling me the stories of this orphanage, and it would curl your hair to listen to the kind of things that she told me. From abuse to getting your hair pulled out by, you know, a nun. So it was really quite devastating.
So why did you want to tell the world and share your story?
Because it finally made me understand more about my grandmother and my family. And I told her, after she told me the story, I said, I'm going to write this book. And she says, no, you're not. Not until I'm dead. She says, there's too many people that could be hurt. And I said, okay. So she died at 103, and I started writing the book. So,
do you think she eventually led a happy life?
And this is her that we're seeing here.
Yes, that was her 103rd birthday. She died 1 month later.
And do you think she led a happy life despite having such a hardship?
I think she had an amazing life. What happened was she ran away from her foster home and was in an alleyway hiding, and the maid came out of this house and said, you must be here for the maid's job. And she befriended the daughter of the household, who dressed her in her clothes, taught her how to speak and walk, and she became a lady, and that's how she met my grandfather, who owned a meatpacking company in Pennsylvania. And
do you think that sharing her story with you and finally being open about it, you know, put a nice end of her life? I think so. Yes. In fact, one of the things I uncovered was he was convicted of murder. It was a wrong accusation. Somebody else admitted it. And so I took it to her and I said, you know, I just found this out from my research. And she says, I told you that all along.
I will tell you that I read the book. It's so beautifully written, and as amazing as the story is, there are so many details inside the book that I think people could really enjoy and learn from. That you can move on with your life and live a happy life despite the hardships that you might have experienced. All right, Michael Haibach, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations on the book.
Amazing Gracie on Amazon. You can buy it on Amazon.
Amazing Gracie.
Thank you so much. And I'm sure you're going to inspire other people to research their history as well.
I think it's important.
Right.
Yeah, you learn so much about your family.